While the Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year, I managed to grab a bottle of this. Yes, this year's Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. As you can see, I have tasted it, so I thought it'd be fun to put in a blind against last year's. So let's go. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways Plus Plus. Now, I was lucky enough to grab a bottle of this at KBF because last year I had to go on a huge adventure to procure this bottle. Now, there are many great reviews on this bottle out there and also a few other blinds. I did pop this one open to taste it and I really enjoyed it. I've seen a few other blinds and they actually chose this one last year over this one. So it made me want to blind it to see what my palate would choose. Especially because this year's bottle is $25 more expensive than last year's.
Because it's more expensive?
So as you can see, I've poured out two of them and I have them in front of me and they're blind. We'll mix them up some more. I'll taste one way, give my thoughts, and then of course, taste the other way while cleansing my palate and choose a winner. But before we do that, let's talk about Maker's Mark Cellar Aged 2023 versus 2024 and look at some of the differences. Now, the 2024 release is a blend of 12-year and 13-year-old bourbon, while the 2023 is a release of a blend of 11 and 12-year. So that making it an at least 1 year difference, right? There is also a slight difference in proof. Now, the 2024 is 119.3 proof, while the 2023 is 115.7 proof. So will that proof make a difference? Now, one of the biggest things is the 2024 release is $25 more MSRP. So this one's $179.99, while last year's was $150. All right, time to get in the fun part. The best part, we get to taste these. So let me just kind of mix these up a little bit. I don't know which was which to begin with, but let's make sure. I have no clue whatsoever. I mean, I don't know.
I'm so confused.
All right, here we go. We're gonna start with one and then do the other, but I just want to kind of look at both of them. So neither one stands out much more than the other. If I'm going to say that there's one a little bit darker, I'm going to say that this one's just a tiny bit darker, and that could be the year difference. So just off of looks, I'm going to assume that this one's the newer one, the little bit older, just because it's a tiny bit darker. But we'll see. We'll see. Am I right? All right, let's go for the nose. That sweetness. It's just such a good smell. I had popped this open to give away a sample, and that's the smell that lingered in the room more. I could just smell it in here, which is interesting. I felt that the one on the left has more aroma than the one on the right. So this one feels brighter, fruitier, more caramel, more vanilla. And this one smells a little darker, a little musky, a little bit more like maple syrup. So just a tiny bit darker. So on the nose, I'd actually give this one the point. All right. Time to go in for that taste. Let's go in for that flavor. A little strong, a little oaky, a little spicy, a little bit of spice, not a lot, but that oakiness and dryness dries that mouth kind of quickly. All right, let's go in for this one. Trying them back to back, they're very similar, a little bit brighter, with that oakiness, does stick out, dries the tongue, and doing that. So I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna do this and really take a little bit more time with each one, cleansing my palate in between, and then choosing a winner for you. All right, I'm back. After going through it multiple times and cleansing my palate and multiple times, because at first they're very similar. And I remember watching those blinds, they thought one was, a lot better than the other. I think they're actually pretty close. But after going through them a few times, letting it sit on my tongue, letting it sit on my palate, allowing my palate to get accustomed to it, enjoy the flavors. This one's a little bit fruity, a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit darker. Both have a lot of flavor. Flavor still on my tongue. I enjoy both of them, actually. Both are pretty oaky though, so if you don't like an oaky one, both are actually giving me a lot of oak on them. And I don't remember that before. I think if you try other ones and try this one's a lot lighter. But doing them just together, back to back, they're both rather oaky. This one edged out this one just by a little bit. So let's see who the winner is for me.
And the winner is...
The winner is C and C 2023. So I was right. This was the older one. This one's with that little bit of darkness, a little bit more oakiness, just a tiny bit. This one's brighter, more fruity, kind of just, pops out a little bit more, gives you a little bit more pop to it. And this one just seems to be a little bit darker and thicker and, beats those. So if you like kind of that little bit more aged, I think you'll like this one more. If you kind of like it where it's just a little bit more aromatic and a little bit more brightness and all that, you're going to like this one. This was actually a harder blind than I thought. Watching everybody else, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier. But I did prefer the 2023, and unfortunately, I have less of that than the 2024. But I enjoy both pours nonetheless. So, thank you, my friends, for joining me down another journey down my bourbon rabbit hole. To our next journey, my friends. Cheers. Little bonus. I kind of want to do a little experiment and put them together. A lot of times when you mix things, they seem to balance each other out. Make them just kind of hit the points on everything that you need. So I'm going to stir this up a little bit and let it go. And let's go in for a taste. Wow. It's funny. That actually made it a little bit more bitter. And no, I don't like it better than a lot of times I like things mixed and they taste better mixed. I don't like this one better mixed. Yeah, I definitely prefer the 2023 by itself over the mixed version. Thought I'd give it a try.